Why do you think that is? Like, people don't like that now, or why the kids are not as attracted, or like the technicians are just not as technical anymore?
I think there is interest there, but I think it's on our shoulders. There's not awareness enough of what's available in the trades. You can make an incredible living in the trades.
Building in your backyard, being there and being part of it every day. Now you have 30 locations. You can't be everywhere. You want to talk a little bit about some of the challenges as you started growing and scaling?
Yeah. The bigger you get, the more leaders you need.
Yeah.
But then you have to train your leaders and empower them to carry the torch. Because you're right, you can't be at all your locations. And you can't be on the phone for all these people all the time. Whether it's you, me, or any business owner, you need to develop your people so that you can empower them and trust them to continue to carry that culture from department to department.
Welcome to the Scale with Speed podcast. I'm your host, Victor Rancour. Today I got an exciting guest on here, someone that most of you probably know throughout the industry. He worked for one of the largest, fastest growing companies in the country, Any Hour Services. Now he's gone around and he's spoken at a lot of events and helped train multiple contractors, probably thousands of contractors over the last couple of years, and helping them think bigger, how to put systems and processes in place. Dustin Van Orman, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Awesome. So for my listeners that don't know who you are, which is probably pretty rare at this point, you've been on a lot of podcasts and spoke at a lot of big events, and you want to kind of give them an idea, kind of what you do, where you started,
Sure,
and kind of what you do now.
Little background. I got into the trades very early on. My dad, he owned apartment complexes years and years ago, and I have memories of getting the repair list from my dad, grabbing the toolbox and putting it on the driving lawnmower because I was too young to drive, and taking the lawnmower to the apartments where I do all these repairs. But that's where I learned to be industrious. I learned that if I worked hard, I could make some income, and I liked money as a kid. And so that's kind of where I first got into the trades, was fixing apartments. Through that process, I learned how to do a lot of stuff. But the one thing I really didn't get a knowledge in was heating and air conditioning. So I was offered a position to do HVAC back in, how old was I? It was about 2000. So 25 years ago, 26 years ago, whatever it is. And it appealed to me because at the apartments, I learned how to change water heaters. I learned how to do flooring and the painting and fixing and this and that, but I'd never learned how to fix a furnace. And so I thought, well, cool, I can become more well-rounded. I'll jump into this trade, figure it out, and then I'll go use it wherever. And that was the start of how I got into HVAC, which has led to where I'm at now. So I've been doing that a long time, but you mentioned Any Hour Services. I teamed up with Any Hour Services in July 1st, 2011. And I'm still with them in a different capacity, but I'm working with the team there. And I love what I'm doing now because I feel like I can make a difference. But the thing that appeals to me the most about heating and air conditioning is it challenges me. I got to be careful what I say here, because the other trades are fantastic as well. I love electrical, but maybe I'm a little bit limited in my thinking here, but you pull a wire from one spot to the other, and there's some challenging stuff. I don't want to discredit that. Well, in plumbing, you just glue pipes together, right?
I mean, the plumbing, all you got to know is, payday's Friday, or my water runs downhill and payday's Friday, and that's all that matters.
No, maybe we're oversimplifying. The reality is there's incredible livings to be had in all the trades. Yeah. There really is. But I was really interested in heating and air conditioning because I loved how technical it was inside the box. You're getting in there with voltmeters and testers and all this different stuff, and I like that.
Well, I think that's, it's kind of funny you say that, and I think that's one of the things that the new generation doesn't have that excitement about doing it. And I think that's one of the hard things of getting guys into the trades. They see the money, but they don't get excited about the little things. And I think, when I got in, I was in the trades before I got into HVAC, and I remember showing up for the interview. I had no idea what HVAC stood for. Right. And you say it's funny, apartments. That's what I was doing. I was doing remodels. We come in, guy buys an apartment building for cheap. We come in, remodel with all this, put some new flooring in, put all this stuff, fix it all up, and then they can charge a bunch more money. So kind of funny. I was in the same industry before I got into this. But, HVAC, every day you're challenged. And I think that was one of the things that helped me become successful, is I got addicted to actually figuring out how to work on the things, because once you know how to work on them, then you can, and all you have to do is worry about communication. And that's not the hard, that's the easy part. So I tell my technicians now, I'm like, if I know I can walk in and fix anything, I'll figure it out somehow. Right now, I don't have to worry about that anymore. I can actually focus on the communication and talking to the customer and all that stuff. Why do you think that is? People don't like that now, or why the kids are not as attracted, or the technicians are just not as technical anymore?
I got to reflect on my own kids, 5 kids. And I see them going through those early stages of getting into a career. I've got one in the military doing his thing there, which is amazing. I got another who's tried being a mechanic, and he got into HVAC for a little while, and he's just trying to figure out that path. I got another that's focusing on sales. I think there is interest there, but I think it's on our shoulders. There's not awareness enough of what's available in the trades. You can make an incredible living in the trades. But these young kids, they just aren't aware that, and that's on our responsibility now to bring it to their attention, the opportunity that's there. And not just the opportunity. I tease about plumbing and electric, but how cool is it that you can make a home, bring it to life with all these, the HVAC and plumbing and electric that's there. I think the problem is they're just uneducated. They don't even know what it is.
Yeah, and I think, I have a cousin of mine. He's right out of high school, 18 years old. His name's Dustin, and he came to work for me at Absolute Airflow. And I feel like he'd never turned a wrench in his life. He didn't know he didn't know anything, right? He didn't know how to hold a tool bag. He didn't know how to hold a wrench. He didn't know how to hold a hammer. And I brought him in, and he struggled in the first year. I put him through our training program and put him out there. And he was like, I remember one night, it's 10 o'clock at night. He's calling me, can't figure this thing out. And I'm pissed. I got to drive all across town to go help him get this unit figured out. And within 10 seconds, I fixed the wire and the thing works, right? Yeah. And it's one of those things where, he wanted to throw in the towel. And I said, look, don't throw in the towel yet. Let's find another spot in the business. Let's learn something else. I moved him to the call center at like 19. Mm-hmm. He did really well in that. He started listening and hearing the calls and started thinking a little bit differently. And he said, hey, at 20, he's like, I want to go back in the field. And I was like, dude, I don't know if I could put you back in the field, bro. You lost me too much money already. And he's like, I want to go all in. I think he didn't understand, like, you have to learn the details before you can try to do everything else. Everyone tries to go too quick. And put him back in the field. 21 years old, I ended up moving him to our Vegas location with Summit. $2 million in his first year out there. And now he's working for me at Fiscor. I think he made $450,000 last year at 22 years old. At 22 years old, you imagine making that kind of money. And it's like the potential's there, but it's like, I feel like this generation, it's all now. They don't want to take the time to learn the trade and learn the skill set. Yeah. And that's really what we challenge. Like, you haven't seen the new facility in Ohio, but we got a 60,000 square foot building that's full technical training built out. We have a live house in there. We have all this stuff to train these kids and get them up to speed quicker, because I think we need to get more people into the trades.
If you're a home service business owner and it seems like everything you try doesn't seem to work, you need to join us March 26th and 27th for our Profit is Sanity Mastermind. We're going to tell you all the tips and tricks and everything that we're doing in today's market to dominate. Come in, we're going to teach you the key KPIs that we're using inside of our business to help scale all of our Rocket Group companies over 200% year over year. And we're going to share it with you. We're not going to hold anything back. You want to see our P&Ls, you want to work with my team, you want to work with my COO, my operations person, my call center rep, you're going to have access to everybody over those 2 days. So if this sounds like something you'd be interested in, make sure to click the link below, get signed up March 26th and 27th. Profit is Sanity. It's going to be in Columbus, Ohio. Can't wait to see you there. Can't wait to help your business grow.
So,
Agreed.
So you started from humble beginnings. You worked your way up. So at any hour, what were you doing when you first started there?
I started there almost 16 years ago. I came into the business I keep a picture on my phone of the original contact list just to reflect on. Yeah. And there was about a dozen people total in the business. Compared to now, there's 2,000 employees in the business now. But I started there as an HVAC tech, running service calls, in with the customer. I spent some time. It was a brand new department, so we had to build and we had to get a team around us. And so I ran service calls, we built a team, and then I had the opportunity to go and run the marketing program, actually. So I ran marketing with NER from the time we were 6 million to 18 million. At 18 million, I built a sales team and ran the sales team until we were 36 million. And at 36 million, I moved in and built a recruiting team and department to help scale the business faster. We reached a point where we really needed to accelerate hiring and find great people. And so I ran recruiting until the time we were almost 100 million here in Utah. And now for the last, from 2021 until now, I've been involved in partnership development. My job is in educating people about the opportunity to be a partner with any our group. All right. So we've been able to scale now from just this one location in Utah to now 30 locations nationwide.
30 locations. So talk about, obviously going from if you guys have never been to Utah and Salt Lake City area, I mean, Any Hour owns the place. I mean, I remember once I went to go see a movie here and I got an Any Hour commercial in my face. Dustin probably made that commercial happen.
Probably.
So, obviously you guys dominated this market. You want to talk about some of the challenges of, obviously this is your backyard, right? Like building a business in your backyard is one thing. And I'm going through this now. We're, 7 states now. And it's like, building in your backyard, being there and being part of it every day. Now you have 30 locations. You can't be everywhere. You want to talk a little bit about some of the challenges as you started growing and scaling?
Yeah, I actually like that question. I remember sitting in meetings as a leadership team many times discussing our worry about how, as we grow, how do we keep the culture strong? Yeah. We were worried about it, but because we were worried, we were having these conversations. I think that helped us succeed at that culture development, right? But I think the key was, because we were talking about it and we were bringing our leadership team along, the bigger you get, the more leaders you need. Yeah. But then you have to train your leaders and empower them to carry the torch, right? Because you're right, you can't be at all your locations, and you can't be on the phone for all these people all the time. And so whether it's you, me, or any business owner, you need to develop your people so that you can empower them and trust them to continue to carry that culture from department to department. And what we found, though, was you had the Any Hour culture overall, and then you had the drains department culture, and you had the electrical department culture, and all those cultures were part of that whole umbrella, but the managers became strong in building their own little mini department culture also. Yeah. Right? So we saw a lot of success still today with as many people as in the business. The culture's strong. Because we empowered the leaders to be a part of it.
And I think that's huge, right? And I think that's one of the things that most, entrepreneurs struggle with, is allowing other people to be even close to as good as them or to be better than them. And I think that's one of the things that I realized I had to take a step back, because I always wanted to be the guy, right? Like, I don't want to be the guy no more. Like, I want to bring in people that are better than me or can do things better than me that I can't do. And I don't want to control it. And I think so many entrepreneurs, as I meet with them, I talk with them, or partner with these guys now, it's like, I remember at one of our locations, we just brought in the GM, absolute stud. Like, I can't believe we even found this guy. He came in, and, my partner there was like, I don't know what to do now. And like, he's like trying to retain control. I'm like, dude, let this guy just breathe. Let him do what he's doing. Cause like, the business is growing and all these things are happening, and trying to get them to realize they have to let go of the reins a little bit is very difficult for most contractors that mostly ran it like a lifestyle business before. Now it's a big business, and there's moving pieces. Like Kevin, at Fiscor, at first he was like losing his mind because he didn't know what to do. He didn't even know what's going on in the business. He had people doing it. People do everything for him around him now. And I say, hey, they got to find a new role, find a new place. Now you're the motivator. You become this, or become something else in the business, because more people you can bring in, the better people, the faster you're going to grow.
Another thought I had in alignment with that is, I get asked often, in all different sizes of business, what do I need to do to scale and become bigger and better? And my advice to the small businesses is, as you're hiring people right now, look for leadership traits, because the people you hire now are your future leaders someday. At least you want them to be, right? You want to develop leaders. And so if you're only looking for a technician that can generate revenue and not looking for leadership opportunity in those people, you're never going to have a pool of people to build from, right? So keep in mind the people you hire today could be your future leaders, and are you looking for the right people?
That's true. And keep in mind, you do need to, some guys are just going to be sales guys forever. So don't
not
hire them. Like, some guys, that's what they like to do. Like, I have guys that they never want to be in a leadership role, but they'll go sell $4 or $5 million a year for me. So you need those guys too.
Yeah.
But like he's saying, throughout that, we always want to try to identify the leaders within your business. And I think that's one thing I always tell people, like when I first started Absolute Airflow, I was like, hey, I'm not much today. I said, but the people that are here today, you guys are going to have an opportunity to grow. You're going to have an opportunity to become managers or become whatever it is. And I've had, call center reps become, a general manager at one point in my business and stuff like that. I gave them the opportunity. I don't hold them back. And I think a lot of contractors, they hold a lot of the people back and not let them thrive. So you talked a little bit about culture. What would you say, like, the culture, or what is like culture to you guys? How do you look at that? Just the breeding people, or how do you incentivize your team? How do you what do you like? Do you guys give out awards? How do you do stuff like that?
Yeah, you got to think about, what do I want? Am I building an environment that is something that I feel good in? And what do people want? They want to have an opportunity to, progress in their career path. They want to feel valued and appreciated. They want to make a good income, right? There's things that people are looking for in a career opportunity. And if at any point they feel like that opportunity is changing, if their path changes and they don't see an opportunity to grow, they might leave because of it. I mean, the number one reason they leave is not because of money. Yeah. That's an aspect of why they like where they work, right? People all want to be compensated well, but ultimately it's who do I work with, and do they make me feel appreciated, and do I enjoy my manager, and do I like the people around me? And culture is really that whole package. And you ask about, rewards and contests and this type of stuff as well. Yeah, people want to have a place where they can excel. Yeah. They've got the tools to perform, and they get rewarded when they do well. And so, yeah, we have weekly programs where they can come into the business. You've been there and you've seen how we throw the darts and stuff, and people can go based on certain KPIs from the week prior. They can come in on their weekly meeting and they get to throw darts at a dartboard and win cash. Take it home and feel like a winner. You want people to feel like they're winning in their career.
Yeah, and I think if you guys are a small business right now, and nobody, just so you know, no one wants to work at a small business. They want to work at a small business that's growing or has a direction. I think one thing, if you guys really want to grow your business and you have a small business, you have to talk about the future and where you're going with the business, because people will come out. Like when I first started Absolute Airflow, I had nothing, dude. Like I had no benefits. I didn't have an office. We're working out of a box truck, and I'm like, we're nothing now, but I'm like, we are going somewhere, right? And people actually want to be part of that. So sometimes you think you're too small. No, they want to be part of something that's building. Now, if you've been $2 million for 20 years, no one wants to be part of that. There's no growth. There's no opportunity. So if you guys are thinking about the future, or talking about the future with your employees, if that's a big one as well. I know for us, like, as we scale to multiple locations now, it's like what we found has worked really well is figuring out the companies around the same size, and then we have them all in the same chat. We compete with each other, those groups, and we run awards every month we put the employees versus each other, the companies versus each other, stuff like that. And then we also have a national leaderboard. So like before it was like, I'm the best guy in my company. Yeah. Now that we have a national ranking, every day it's updated. These guys are watching it like, how did he get that? Or how's he beating me in Alabama? Or how's this happening? Right. And that's something that
we all love to compete.
Oh yes. I mean, I think one of my things that, I love Leland, and I talk to Leland pretty often, and I'll never forget it. This pissed me off more than anything. I said, I'll never do this to an employee. And when I started at Service Champions, I moved up faster than everybody. They gave me the rules and said, if you hit these numbers, they have to promote you. Well, they never had anybody hit them every single time. Like I never missed a promotion. And they got to the point where they kind of wanted to hold me back. I'm like, my pay plan, my thing says if I hit these numbers, I get to get promoted. Yeah. So he had to promote me. So he put me in there, and then the first month in the new position, I was finally able to sell equipment. I ended up winning #1 in the country. So that was the Airtime 500 at the time, the very first month. Mm-hmm. Everybody's pissed. All the other sales guys, everybody's pissed. What do you guys give it on the calls? And it just wasn't. I was at that point in my life, I was all I cared about was work. I did nothing else. But I still remember I was so excited because every time someone won the award, they would give it out in front of the whole crowd or all company meeting. Well, everybody was so pissed that I had won that Leland came and gave it to me in the hallway. Oh. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like I've been busting my ass for you for all this time. I'm like the person, I'm in all your pictures, all your freaking stuff. And I ended up not getting my award in the hallway. And I was like, you know what? Fuck this thing. I don't care about it anymore. But I told myself as an owner, like, I'm going to celebrate my people, whether they're brand new or they've been there forever. Everybody has the same opportunity. If you want to work that's what I love about the trades. Yeah. I love about what we do is like, I don't care if you've been here for 6 months or a year. It's what have you done for me lately? And you're going to get promoted and you're going to be treated like that because you're doing what's needed.
Celebrate the small stuff. It doesn't have to be a huge award. Celebrate somebody's success. Yeah. Do it publicly. It makes this person that you're rewarding feel good, but the people that are watching them receive the reward get motivated because they want to feel that way also. And so they celebrate each other's success, and then they drive for success.
Yeah, and you just got to be, and then also if you don't have people that like competition in your business, especially on the service sales side or whatever you have on those guys, honestly, for me, I just found it's not like I would rather have 20 lions than 100 sheep. And I found that I can have 20 technicians that are just highly motivated, but produce more than those 100 guys driving all those trucks around, wasting my time. Mm-hmm. And it's like we build that and we keep top grading all the time. We're trying to bring in the best of the best. And a lot of companies will hold on to guys because they've been there forever. Like, oh, we can make them work. And it's like, at the end of the day, we're here to grow a business and make money. And sometimes you have to realize that those same guys are the ones that are around the water cooler talking negatively and all these things that impacts the entire business. And for us, like, we just don't allow it. If you come into the business, you're negative, you go home that day. Literally, we hear my guys. I learned from Leland. Don't worry about throw them under the bus. Drive over him with the bus, right? Because they're messing up everybody else around you, and you can't have those people within your business. I think that's what allows us to stay, like, not to be the biggest company, but we do more revenue with what we have. Like, our average ticket is crazy, but we just have guys that follow the process, do things the right way.
As a leader in your business, my philosophy is you're not allowed to have a bad day.
Yeah.
Now, tell me, you and I both have to admit that we've had bad days, right?
Oh, shit.
But do you know how many times I've had to go out to my truck, lock the doors, and just stay there till I can correct my state of mind? Because when you're in the halls of your business, they need to see positive support, happy, high five. I mean, whatever it is, you need to be passing out good vibes all the time. Yeah. But it's the same impact when employees are down. But I tell you what, if you go in as a leader, and this is for everyone, you should be living this. If you go in as a leader and you're constantly spreading positivity,
yeah,
your people are going to do the same thing. They're not going to talk poorly behind your back. They're going to be passing on the positive vibes also. It's contagious.
Well, like they say, the old saying, the fish rots from the head, right? And I think, I look back to myself in like 2018, 2019, and growing a business from nothing ain't easy, right? And the amount of we grew it really fast. So the amount of like stress and cash flow and all these things that like, I didn't even know what the hell I was doing. I just know how to sell things, and I know how to, get people to want to work for me. I didn't understand the money stuff. So every day I was under constant stress because I didn't understand where the money was going, how it was going out. And I'm still growing. And obviously sales cures a lot of things. But, for me in that time, I was so stressed out. I was, I wasn't myself. I was mean to people. I was angry. I would get, all these things. And I look back, I'm like, if I was who I am now, where like I'm calm all the time. There's nothing like that. The building could be on fire. Just call the fire department. It's not a big deal. But you go through so many things now, and you've been through 25 years. But like after years and years, I'm 11 years into the trades. Like now it's like nothing phases me anymore. Before everything was like a federal offense, and I would freak out. And I've had the same conversation with Kevin. Like, I tell him right now he's Kevin 42.8 or something like that, because he's had to change so much because you fly off the handles too. And I'm like, dude, you can't do it. If your employees see you stressed, they're going to be stressed. I don't care if you got $10 in the bank account, you got to pretend like you got $1 million in the bank, right? And stuff like that, where like I would wear my heart on my sleeve back then, and it would cause a lot of stress and anxiety through the business. So it's things that I've definitely had to learn over time.
And you lose good people if you're not taking care of them just by being positive around them.
Oh yeah, 100%. So I'm not going to keep you on here too long, Dustin. For what's one thing that you would say to a contractor that's maybe in the $3 to $5 million range, kind of stuck on where to get to the next level? What kind of hires they should make, or maybe just like one little tip that can get them kind of out of their own way and start getting to to maybe that $10 million level.
Mm-hmm. You indicated it a little bit. You need to be able to attract A players. And if you're $3 million, they're not seeing the opportunity there yet because you're only $3 million. That being said, you can sell a big picture. When I walked around with Wyatt, you know Wyatt very well.
Yeah.
He is a visionary for sure. And he walked me around the halls of the business when there was a dozen people doing about $2 million in revenue. And I was self-employed and I was pretty happy, and I wasn't looking for a job. I was just saying hi to an old friend. But he walked me around the business and he painted a vision so big, I knew I needed to be a part of it because we were going to accomplish it together. And so I've been on that journey with the team there from 2 million to 500 million now because of a vision I saw when we were tiny. And so to the business owners right now that are trying to scale, and they're actually serious about their business, you only grow as fast as your ability to find the right people, bring them into your business, educate them, give them a truck, and turn them loose, right? So you have to surround yourself with A players, but the way to attract A players is to help them see what they can accomplish in your business with you.
Yeah.
Makes sense?
I always tell guys, act bigger than you are as well. When I first started, absolutely, like, I knew that I wanted A players. So like, what do A players need? Mm-hmm. They need benefits. I can't afford it, but we're going to get them. They want nice trucks. They want uniforms. They want an office that are painted. I did all these things that I couldn't afford because I knew that was the only way I was going to get A players. And I was able to recruit like multi-million-dollar guys from service champions that would never go there's no reason they should have been there with me, but they came off the vision. So exactly what Dustin said. Dustin, it was a pleasure talking to you. It's always a pleasure. As always, business is a sport. Let's go out and win.